Last time on Shadow Piece, the two entertainers of the Blackbeard and Strawhat Pirates came into the spotlight. Brook, the Grim Reaper, and Lafitte, the Demon Sheriff, crossed blades, their attacks precise, not much destruction was happening around them, only quick strikes and counters. The two of them couldn't have been more different. Both wanted to entertain, but while Brook wanted to cheer others up with his happy performances, Lafitte only strived to make himself happy by seeing others suffer. A clash of ideals was happening at this location, and both sides had just finished measuring up the other. The air changed. Brook noticed it before anyone else. The subtle pressure, the faint hum beneath the sound of distant gunfire. It was as if the atmosphere itself drew a quiet breath. Lafitte straightened, blood from his sleeve drying in thin red trails, and tilted his head skywards. His smile had softened to something serene. "I must confess, Skeleton," he said quietly. "You've earned something rare from me." Brook steadied his stance, blade lowered but not relaxed. "Oh, what might that be? Respect? A challenge? Or is it what I actually think it is? A reason to laugh?" "None of those." Lafitte's eyes gleamed silver in the smoke-filled air. "Permission to dance without restraint." He spread his arms wide. A low musical hum ripped through the air, followed by the grotesque sound of shifting bones. From his back, great wings unfurled, sleek feathers of white and crimson streaked with pale blue veins that shimmered under the firelight. The wings weren't the elegant limbs of a bird, they were jagged, predatory, their edges sharp like blades. Brook's eye flames flared in shock. Mythical Zoan?" Lafitte chuckled softly, his voice now carrying an unnatural resonance, a being that only existed in tales. "Indeed. Tori Tori no Mi, model, Harpy. A fitting gift for one who so loves to fly above humanity." The transformation continued. His feet stretched into talons that scraped the stone, and faint scales glimmered along his arms. When he opened his mouth again, his voice came with two tones, his own and a haunting echo, as if another being spoke in harmony with him. The air shimmered. All around the battlefield, the fighting pirates, both Blackbeards and Marias, suddenly hesitated mid-swing. They blinked rapidly, dazed. A faint shimmer pulsed from Lafitte's wings, rhythmic and hypnotic, accompanied by a faint melody like the distant song of a siren. Brook realized when it was too late. Lafitte flapped once, the gust rolling outwards like a wave. "Sleep, laugh, obey," he whispered, his tone like silk, and dozens of pirates obeyed. Strawhat sailors and Blackbeard goons alike turned their heads with empty stares, weapons lowering before rising again, but this time all of them turned towards Brook. "Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho?" Brook's jaw tilted in confusion before the first blade slashed towards him. Not good. The skeleton leapt back as three hypnotized pirates lunged at him. Their movements were stiff, erratic, but numerous. Soon more joined, 10, 20, 30, over 50 bodies pressed towards him in a chaotic swarm. Lafitte floated above them, wings beating lazily, a conductor of madness, a man appreciating the cruel chaos. "A harpy's voice can charm even the willful. You of all people should appreciate music's persuasive powers." Brook parried two strikes, spun, and used the flat of his blade to knock another pirate unconscious. He couldn't risk killing any of his allies, not when their eyes were clouded by Lafitte's spell. "Yo-ho-ho-ho! You twist beauty into cruelty!" Brook shouted. "That's unforgivable for a musician!" "But Skeleton, beauty is cruelty," Lafitte replied softly, watching as his thralls attacked. "The audience adores a good tragedy." Brook slashed with his sword, a flash of blue frost bursting forth. "Givre fleur!" A ring of cold air swept out from him. The ground froze beneath his feet, and several pirates halted mid-stride, their boots encased in ice. Others fell unconscious as their weapons shattered against Brook's blade. He danced among them, graceful, even amid the chaos, parrying, disarming, freezing instead of killing. But Lafitte did not give him a moment to rest. He dove from above, wings slicing through the cold mist. Brook turned barely in time to block, his blade catching one of Lafitte's talons. The impact sent a vibration down his arm, cracking the bone of his forearm. "Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho! Ouch! My humorist isn't laughing anymore." Lafitte twisted, driving a kick into Brook's ribs. Bone splintered with a sharp crack, fragments scattering like porcelain. Brook flew backwards, landing hard amongst the frozen stones. The watching birds circled lower, recording every moment of this battle. Brook rose slowly, cracks running across his rib cage. Yo, you're stronger than you look, and here I thought the Blackbeard rookies were just all talk. Compliments? Lafitte laughed softly. Or an epitaph. He flapped his wings again, unleashing a blinding gust. Feathers, razor sharp, whirled through the air like daggers. Brook spun his blade, deflecting several, but a few sliced through his coat and bone alike. Ah, so this is what pain used to feel like, Brook murmured. He looked down at the fractures running across his arm, then smiled faintly. A reminder that I actually am still alive. Yo! He sheathed his sword briefly, reaching for his violin case slung across his back. It has been a while since I felt the need to perform mid-battle. The case clicked open, and he drew the bow in one hand, while still holding his rapier in the other. If you wish to drown me in music, then I shall answer in kind. He began to play. The melody that came forth was hauntingly beautiful, slow, cold, echoing through the battlefield like a requiem. The hypnotized pirates faltered, their motions slowing as the frost in the air deepened. The sound wasn't merely music. It was Brook's soul speaking, radiating through the power of the revive fruit. Lullaby of the dead! A mist rolled outward. Those who were entranced by Lafitte's influence began to shiver, their eyes flickering as sleep overtook them. The weak-willed collapsed where they stood, frozen in gentle stillness. Brook moved among them, touching shoulders, freezing limbs to immobilize, but not kill. But Lafitte was already in motion again. He tore through the mist, feathers glinting. Brook raised his sword to meet him. Too late. Lafitte's talon raked across his chest, slicing several ribs apart. Brook stumbled backwards, a gaping fracture running through his sternum. Lafitte landed gracefully, one wing folded across his shoulder like a cloak. Even the dead can break, it seems. Brook steadied himself, his laugh quieter now, but still alive, even though he had died once already. Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho. I can break, yes, but I will not die again. That'll make you wish you could, the harpy said in response as he lunged, wings spread wide. Their next exchange was a blur of sound and motion. Brook's blade flashing, Lafitte's claw descending, the cold and wind colliding. Every parry cracked bone, every counter drew blood. Brook was forced backward step by step, his boots skidding across shattered stone and the ice he had created. His coat was torn, bones splintered in several places, yet his eyes burned bright blue. Lafitte, still smiling, pressed the attack relentlessly. You hide behind music and laughter, but when the song ends, you are just bones. You have nothing left in this era. The skeleton halted for a moment, his empty eyes staring at the incoming mythical being. I have somebody still waiting for me, but you? Brook gasped, countering a downward slash. Hide behind your cruelty, because you fear silence. As the moment you stop talking or torturing someone, nobody will give a shit about you anymore. Their blades locked again, the battlefield trembling under their clash. Brook's sword tip trembled from the strain. Lafitte's wings beat once, and with a burst of strength, he broke free, slashing across Brook's arm and sending the rapier spinning from his grasp. Brook dropped to one knee, clutching his fractured arm. His empty sockets met Lafitte's gaze, defiant even in defeat. Lafitte landed lightly on the ground, standing over him with the pose of a dancer at the end of his routine. The curtain draws near, he said softly, and yet you refuse to fall. Brook exhaled, an illusion of breath, and slowly rose, his hand reaching towards the hilt of his fallen blade. Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho! The song isn't over yet, for I have an encore still in my mind. Lafitte's grin widened. Then let's make the finale unforgettable. As the harpy's wings spread wide once more, the hypnotized pirates began to stir again under his growing aura. Brook, cracked and battered, tightened his grip on so solid that he barely managed to retrieve, his music swelling faintly in the background, as if echoing his heartbeat. The war still raged across Hachinosu, but here, in this ruined location, only two performers mattered. And though Lafitte now held the advantage, Brook's soul burned brighter than ever. The entertainer took a deep breath, searched within himself, and found an answer. This dance was far from over. And this is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece. I hope you enjoyed it. The reveal that Lafitte is actually a user of the harpy fruit. I was thinking about maybe making him an angel because he had like those white wings in some scene in the canon story, but I feel like harpy kind of makes sense for him in a way, so maybe that's actually what's gonna be. We don't know his devil fruit just yet. So how do you think this is going to turn out? Will Brook manage to turn it all? Or will Lafitte finish him off in the next episode? Well, the final part of the battle will happen then. All that's left to be said from me for today is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!